When we talk about competition, most people immediately think about competing with others, whether it's a colleague, a friend, or a rival. But let me tell you something crucial. The most significant competition you'll ever face isn't out there. It's right here. It's within you. Every single day, the battle is you versus you. And this battle, my friends, is the one that truly matters. You see, external competition is easy to spot. It's measurable. You can look at someone else's achievements, their progress, their successes, and think, that's my benchmark. But that's not where your focus should be. The real competition is with the person you were yesterday, last week, last year. The real competition is with the version of yourself that holds on to comfort, that avoids risk, that stays in the safe zone. And believe me, that version of you is tricky. It's the voice that whispers, you're doing fine. You don't need to push harder. Or it's okay to stay where you are. But deep down, you know staying the same isn't enough. Growth comes from challenging yourself, from stepping out of what's familiar and comfortable, and from facing the internal struggle head on. That's where true transformation happens. The world outside will always have its challenges, but the toughest battles are fought within. They're fought in the moments when no one is watching, when it's just you and your thoughts. Imagine waking up every morning and seeing yourself as your greatest competitor, not in a way that's self-destructive or filled with self-criticism, but in a way that drives you to be better. You look at yourself in the mirror and say, today, I'm going to outdo you, because that's what it's about, outdoing yourself, not anyone else. The person you're meant to become is always a little ahead of the person you are now. And each day, each action is about closing that gap. Now, why is this important? Because focusing on you versus you keeps you in control. It puts the power back in your hands. External competition can be influenced by factors beyond your control. But competing with yourself, that's all on you. You get to set the pace, the standards, and the goals. And when you're in control, you're empowered. You're no longer swayed by what others are doing, by their timelines, or their definitions of success. You're focused solely on your journey, your progress, and your evolution. And let me tell you, there's incredible freedom in that. When you stop looking left and right and start looking within, you realize that the only person you need to impress, the only person you need to prove anything to, is yourself. Every step forward, every bit of progress, no matter how small, is a win, because it's a step closer to the best version of you. But here's the catch. This inner competition is relentless. It requires honesty. It requires you to face your fears, your insecurities, and your weaknesses. It requires you to admit where you've been holding back, where you've let comfort win over courage. And that's tough. It's easier to look outside and find excuses. It's easier to blame circumstances, other people, or timing. But when it's you versus you, there's nowhere to hide. There's just the raw, unfiltered truth. And that's where the magic happens. Because when you embrace this competition, when you accept that the only person holding you back is you tap into a power you didn't know you had. You realize that every limitation is self-imposed and every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. You start to see challenges as stepping stones, not roadblocks. How do you win this competition? By showing up every day ready to be better. By making a commitment to yourself that you will not settle, that you will not stay the same. By pushing through when it gets tough, when the voice inside says, it's too hard, or you can't do this. Because you can, and you will. Every time you choose to push a little harder, to go a little further, to stay a little longer, you're winning. Every time you silence the doubt and take action, you're claiming victory. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about being resilient. It's about being the best version of you that you can possibly be. And the best part? This is a competition you can win every single day, because every day you have the chance to be better than you were yesterday. Every day you can rise above the version of you that wants to stay comfortable, that wants to avoid the challenge. Every day you can decide that today you're going to outdo yourself. The next time you find yourself looking for competition, stop and look within. The only person you need to beat is the one you were yesterday. And the only way to lose is to stop trying. Don't stop. Keep pushing, keep growing, and keep competing, because in the end, it's you vs you, and you're destined to win. Every single day, we're presented with a choice. It might seem small, even insignificant at first glance, but these daily decisions stack up and define the trajectory of our lives. It's in these moments, in the quiet seconds when no one else is watching, that the battle of you vs you takes place. And let me tell you, the outcome of this battle determines your growth, your success, and ultimately your fulfillment. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning, you have a decision to make. Will you hit the snooze button, or will you get up and take charge of your day? Will you put in the extra effort at work, or will you coast through doing just enough to get by? These choices might seem trivial in the moment, but they are the building blocks of who you become. What happens when you choose to push yourself just a little bit more each day? When you choose to take action, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, you're shaping your destiny. You're not just reacting to life circumstances, you're creating your own reality. Every choice you make is either moving you forward or keeping you where you are. And here's the truth, staying the same is the easiest choice. It's comfortable, it's familiar, but comfort is the enemy of progress. If you want to grow, if you want to achieve your goals and become the person you were meant to be, you have to make the harder choice. You have to choose growth over comfort. And that choice, it's made in the small everyday moments. Now let's talk about those moments when you feel tired, when you're overwhelmed, when it feels like the world is pressing down on you. It's in those moments that your strength is truly tested. That's when you, vis-a-vis you, becomes real. Will you give in to the temptation to take the easy way out, or will you rise above and do what needs to be done? Success isn't about one big decision or one grand moment. It's about the accumulation of small, consistent choices over time. It's about deciding day after day to show up, to give it your best, and to push a little harder. It's about not letting yesterday's victories or failures define today, because every day is a new opportunity to be better, to do better. When you make the choice to grow, you're telling yourself that you're worth it. You're telling yourself that you deserve to see what you're capable of, that you have the power to create the life you want. It's a mindset shift. It's about taking control of your life and realizing that you are the author of your story. No one else is going to do it for you. The beauty of this is that it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday or what challenges you faced in the past. What matters is what you choose to do today. Will you take a step toward your goals, or will you stay in the same place? The choice is always yours. As you go through your day, I want you to remember this. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you want to become. Every action, no matter how small, either moves you closer to your goals or keeps you stuck. You have the power to choose growth, to choose progress, to choose to be better. It's you vs you, and you have what it takes to win. Decide today to make the choices that will propel you forward. Because when you do, you'll look back and realize that every small step, every hard decision, every moment you chose growth over comfort was worth it. And that's when you know you're unstoppable. Now let's dive into something that holds more people back than anything else: limiting beliefs. These are the stories you tell yourself, often without even realizing it. They're the whispered doubts, the nagging fears, and the internal chatter that convinces you that you can't, you shouldn't, or you're not enough. And let me tell you, if you don't face these beliefs head on, they'll keep you stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. Every one of us has them, those little voices that say you're not smart enough, or you'll never make it, or who do you think you are to even try? These beliefs don't come from nowhere. They're often rooted in past experiences, things people have said, or failures you've encountered. But here's the truth. Just because you failed once doesn't mean you're destined to fail again. And just because someone else didn't believe in you doesn't mean you shouldn't believe in yourself. The problem with limiting beliefs is that they're sneaky. They masquerade as facts when in reality they're just opinions. They're the conclusions you've drawn from certain events, but they're not universal truths. And unless you challenge them, they become the lens through which you view every opportunity, every challenge, and every goal. They become the ceiling of your potential. Now, let's break it down. Imagine you're standing in front of a wall. That wall is made up of all your limiting beliefs. It's high, it's wide, and it feels impenetrable. But what if I told you that wall isn't as solid as it seems? What if instead of being made of bricks, it's made of paper? The only thing keeping it standing is your belief in it. The moment you stop feeding it with fear and doubt, it crumbles. This is where the battle of you vs you becomes crucial. The you that's filled with limiting beliefs is comfortable because it doesn't have to try, it doesn't have to risk failure, and it doesn't have to face discomfort. But the you that wants to grow knows that staying behind that wall isn't living, it's existing. And you weren't put on this earth just to exist. You are meant to thrive, to expand, and to reach your fullest potential. So how do you break through? You start by identifying these beliefs. You call them out. When that voice in your head says, I'm not good enough, you don't just accept it, you question it. You ask, who says I'm not good enough? What evidence do I have that proves otherwise? More often than not, you'll find that the belief doesn't hold up under scrutiny. It's just been a story you've told yourself for so long that it feels real. And next, you replace those limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of saying, I can't, start saying, I'm learning or I'm capable. Instead of thinking, this is too hard, try, this is a challenge I can overcome. It's not about blind positivity, it's about shifting your perspective to one that serves your growth, not stifles it. And remember, it's not going to happen overnight. Breaking down these walls takes time, it takes persistence, but every time you challenge a limiting belief, every time you refuse to let it control your actions, you're weakening it. You're taking back control. And the more you do this, the more you'll find that those walls that once seemed so solid start to disappear. This is the essence of you versus you. It's about recognizing that the only thing truly holding you back is the belief that you can't move forward. Once you change that belief, there's nothing you can't achieve. So the next time you feel those limiting beliefs creeping in, I want you to remember this. They're not real, they're just paper walls. And you have the strength to break through them. You've got the power to rewrite your story, to choose beliefs that empower you, and to step into the limitless potential that's been waiting for you all along. The battle is you versus you, and you've already won the moment you decide to believe in yourself. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with images of other people's success, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. You see someone who seems to have it all figured out, and suddenly your own progress feels insignificant. But here's the reality. Comparison is the thief of joy. And when it's you vs you, the only person you need to compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Let's talk about why comparing yourself to others is a losing game. First, you're never getting the full picture. Social media, the stories we hear, the highlights we see, these are just that, highlights. They're the best moments, the curated successes, the victories, without the context of the struggles that came before. When you compare your real life with all its ups and downs to someone else's highlight reel, you're not being fair to yourself. You're setting yourself up to feel inadequate based on a distorted reality. But even beyond that, focusing on others' journeys distracts you from your own. When you're constantly looking to your left and right, trying to measure up, you lose sight of your own path. And that's where the magic is, in your unique journey. No two people have the same starting point, the same challenges, or the same destination. Your path is yours alone, and the only metric that matters is whether you're moving forward, not how fast someone else is moving. Now let's flip the script. Imagine if instead of comparing yourself to others, you compared yourself to who you were yesterday. That's a game where you're in control. That's a game where you can win every single day. When you wake up, ask yourself, what can I do today that will make me a little better than I was yesterday? Maybe it's learning something new. Maybe it's pushing a little harder at the gym. Maybe it's just being kinder to yourself. Whatever it is, it's progress. And progress, no matter how small, is something to celebrate. This shift in mindset is powerful. When you focus on your own growth, you're not competing with anyone else. You're setting your own standards and then working to surpass them. It's about being better, not the best. And that's a crucial distinction. Being the best is often out of your hands. It depends on who else is in the race. But being better than you were yesterday, that's entirely within your control. Here's the thing, your journey is yours to own. Every step you take, every milestone you reach is a testament to your resilience, your dedication, and your hard work. When you compare yourself to yourself, you're constantly raising the bar. You're not chasing after someone else's definition of success. You're creating your own. And that's what makes the process fulfilling and sustainable. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to ignore the noise around you. We're human, and it's natural to notice what others are doing. But every time you catch yourself falling into the comparison trap, remind yourself, the only competition that matters is you via you. Bring your focus back to your path, your goals, and your progress. Because the more you do that, the more you'll realize that you're capable of incredible things when you stop trying to be someone else and start fully embracing who you are and who you can become. So keep your eyes on your lane. Measure your progress against your own standards. Strive to be better than you were yesterday, and let that be enough. Because in the end, the only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. And that's a battle you're equipped to win every single day. One of the biggest misconceptions about progress is that it's all about the big wins, the major breakthroughs. But let me tell you, that's not where lasting success is built. It's the small wins, the little victories that often go unnoticed, that truly build momentum and drive long-term success. When it's you vs you, these small wins are your secret weapon. They're the fuel that keeps you moving forward, even when the road seems long and the destination far away. Think about it like this. Every time you take a small step in the right direction, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. Maybe it's choosing to read for 10 minutes instead of scrolling through social media. Maybe it's getting up just a bit earlier to get a head start on your day. Maybe it's completing that extra set at the gym when your body is telling you to quit. These might seem like tiny actions, but they add up. Over time, they build a foundation of discipline, resilience, and confidence. The power of small wins lies in their cumulative effect. Each time you achieve a small victory, you're reinforcing the belief that you can do it. You're proving to yourself that progress is possible, that change is within your reach. And with every small win, you're creating a positive feedback loop. Success breeds success. The more you achieve, the more you're motivated to keep going. And the more you keep going, the more you achieve. It's a cycle that feeds on itself, pushing you further and further along your path. But here's the key. You have to recognize and celebrate these small wins. It's easy to dismiss them as insignificant, especially when you're focused on the big picture. But if you only ever look for the monumental achievements, you'll miss out on the journey. You'll overlook the steady progress that's happening every single day. And it's that steady progress, those consistent small wins, that lead to the big breakthroughs. How do you stay tuned into these small victories? You start by setting achievable incremental goals. Instead of saying, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, you say, I'm going to eat healthier today. Instead of aiming to run a marathon right away, you commit to running a little further than you did yesterday. These smaller goals are within reach. And every time you hit one, you're building momentum. You're setting yourself up for success, one step at a time. And don't underestimate the power of momentum. When you've got momentum on your side, everything feels easier. The challenges don't seem as daunting. The setbacks don't feel as discouraging. Momentum keeps you moving forward even when motivation wanes. It's like riding a wave. Once you've caught it, it carries you, propelling you toward your goals with less effort. The beautiful thing about small wins is that they're always within your grasp. No matter where you are in your journey, there's always a next step, a small action you can take that moves you closer to your goal. And each of these actions, as small as they might seem in the moment, are victories in the ongoing battle of you v zoo. So don't wait for the big wins to celebrate. Start noticing the small ones. Let them build you up. Let them show you what you're capable of, and let them create the momentum that will carry you to greater heights. Remember, it's the small wins that lead to big victories. And every time you achieve one, you're proving to yourself that you have what it takes to win this battle. Keep going, keep winning, and keep building the momentum that will take you to the top. Breakthrough is the most important lesson leaders learn from their failures. Position themselves to become the best version of themselves and get creative with the momentum that will take you to the top. Let's talk about one of the most crucial elements in this battle of you vs you, consistency. It's not the big efforts made once in a while that change your life. It's the consistent daily actions that compound over time. Consistency is the bridge between your goals and your success. Without it, even the best intentions and grandest plans fall apart. Think about a drop of water falling on a stone. One drop alone seems insignificant, but over time, with persistent, consistent dripping, that water can carve through the rock. It's the same with your efforts. The small, consistent actions you take each day might not seem like much on their own, but together they have the power to reshape your life. Why is consistency so powerful? Because it creates habits, and habits are the foundation of our success. When you consistently show up and do the work, you're training your mind and body to perform even when you don't feel like it. You're creating a rhythm, a pattern that becomes second nature. And once something becomes a habit, it no longer requires the same effort or willpower. It just becomes what you do. But let's be real, being consistent is not always easy. Life gets in the way. There are days when you're tired, when you're distracted, when everything seems to go wrong. These are the days when it's hardest to stay on track. But they're also the most important days to push through, because every time you stick with your routine, even when it's tough, you're strengthening your commitment. You're proving to yourself that you can be counted on, that you won't give up when things get hard. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It's not about never missing a day or never making a mistake. It's about showing up more often than not, about getting back on track when you falter. It's about persistence, not perfection. And this persistence, this steady effort, is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't. It's not the people who work the hardest for a week or a month who succeed. It's the ones who keep going, day after day, month after month. Now, let's talk about the importance of systems over motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It's great to have, but it comes and goes. If you rely on motivation alone, you'll be inconsistent because no one feels motivated all the time. That's where systems come in. Systems are the routines and processes you put in place to keep you moving forward regardless of how you feel. They take the guesswork out of your day. They make success inevitable because they're designed to keep you on track, even when your motivation dips. When you create systems and stick to them, you're making it easier to be consistent. Whether it's a workout routine, a morning ritual, or a structured work schedule, having a system means you don't have to rely on willpower alone. And over time, these systems become habits, and these habits build the foundation of your success. Consistency, my friends, is the ultimate game changer in the battle of you vs you. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things consistently over time. It's about showing up every day, doing your best, and trusting that these small, consistent actions will lead to big results. So commit to consistency. Build the systems that support your goals. Show up, even on the days you don't feel like it. Because when you're consistent, you're unstoppable. And in this battle of you vs you, consistency is your greatest ally. Keep going, keep showing up, and watch as your steady efforts transform your life.